Hello, and welcome back to another replay review for the ASAP Weekly Podcast Patreon tiers. My name is Combo, and today we're going to be working through CloudN9nee's replay. He has been with us for a couple months now. He's always a pleasure to work with and a lot of fun. His replays are always super engaging, and he tends to have a lot of very good, honestly common mistakes, which is great for him. Of that, he's covered a lot of the really important bases, and now honestly, it's just going to be about slowly identifying little problems here and there as he continues to grind his way up the ranks. So he's a plat player. I know the last time I worked with him, I think he said he was plat 1. Now these replays are around plat 3. He's really hoping to break diamond soon. So if it hasn't happened already, and since about just under a week, I think, since I got his replay, I hope it happens soon. And I'm excited to dive into this one. So by the way, loving the look of the car. I quickly saw the first couple seconds too with the Rad Rock boost he has and everything. Looks super clean. So excited to see it. So should be good, and we'll go from there. I don't know if we have his MMR. Let's see if we can see who he's playing against. No, we can't see it. That's okay. But we're gonna dive on in. Right, super clean. Good kickoff. Those always is pretty standard. A late jump, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but you jump very late at the ball, meaning that whenever you hit it, it's always going to get error. And so this is a good kind of correlation to see, if you didn't know this already, of the sooner you jump, the more likely it is for the ball to stay on the ground. The later you jump, obviously the higher the ball is going to go. So can make it harder to read, but that is life. I will also say, and this is such a preference thing, there's no correct camera. Your camera is very, very close to your car. So I would actually recommend maybe playing around with some different field of views if it's not, because I almost all camera settings for any pro or high level players tends to be around is 110, I believe, is the field of view. I can check my own right now quickly and see. Oh, I can't actually see in this. That's kind of sad. Well, anyways, I think 110 is the field of view is highest. And most people say always set it to 110 so you can see all the field, and then just from there you might have it. And I'm not noticing, but I do think you have a pretty narrow view here because your camera's so close. So if you haven't already, definitely play around, see if you can maybe change them up, because I will say I don't think you're getting as much of the field as you probably could. Good rotations thus far, both times rotating perfectly to the back post. This is another one of those plays that is pretty common in Plat and Diamond that I see quite a bit of right now. This is where, and this will, you'll really notice that you need to do this once you get into the champ areas. So if you start it now, you're going to really start to see some offense of that. Right now, there's no harm in you starting to inch out. I know at your rank, it always feels like you need to play safe and you need to cover the net and stuff like that. But right now, if we look, Red is currently on his way to chase this ball down. Whoever your other teammate is, whoever his name is currently cycling around. So we already know we're about to have a goalie. So why not join the play, right? Why not get in there, see if you can create maybe a passing lane or follow up a rebound or something to just be quicker, because you see right away, and we already saw it, we've been spoiled in this replay. Where are you? There you are. That when Red goes, he misses the ball as the opponent. So then you get up to this, but then you take a 50. Imagine if you were already there getting ready for a pass in the middle, how much quicker you would have been than Racked have been turning to this, right? You have already been in the position you're currently in when the miss happened, and then you would have been able to win this ball cleanly, right? So a huge part of being successful with speed and threes is being able to always assess where your teammates are. So you see Sin there, your other teammate, is already rotating back, Red is already chasing. Go join the play, right? Don't sit back in net. Already be boosting right down the middle, getting these pads, and join in that offensive pressure, right? Like, create offense for yourself by being part of it. Huge thing that you need to look into here, and something that I promise you'll really start to notice a boost in your offense if you start trying to actually practice this. Good win on the 50 nonetheless, though. Good touch in the middle. Can you get there? Nice try. Don't be afraid to give a shot to these off angles, right? You're already pointing in. You already, just before you finish your turn, we're already pointing about in this direction. Don't be afraid to try to drive and then side flip, right? And see if you can get like a cool off angle, right? Learn what your car can do at different angles. Right now in Platinum, like especially Platinum 2, you are, I believe generally per season, the rank distribution tends to fall around Platinum 1 is where the most percentage of players are. So that is the exact average of player skill, right? So what I'd actually recommend is that since you're in that area right now, this is your perfect time to experiment, right? So you're adding on mechanics, you're adding on mindset, you're adding on challenge logic, like all these kind of things. So why not experiment with some stuff too and see how your car can do, instead of doing what you do here and having to turn your car all the way around and then get that shot instead, right? It gives yourself more time. You get to learn the angles of your car a little better. Plus, you may have beat Camba Bomb to that ball, right, and got that in. So, nonetheless, very great, very good recovery downfield. Careful, and so this is a big bad habit I see quite a bit. This ball is going. This is a really good kind of almost like function or formula to remember. Ball going whatever side. So right now, actually we'll do this from overhead so you can see it even better. So right now, the ball is going to the, if I draw a black line, let's say right down the field, right down the middle of the field. Close enough. Imagine that's the middle. Ball is going into the far corner. Geez, I'm going to change color. One sec. Far corner. You currently have one teammate who has hit it, so his trajectory is going to land him about here. You have one teammate, regardless of the direction he's pointing, here, meaning that your job needs to be basically hovering on this line, but on the outside of it. Somewhere down this line. In this case, I'd probably put you in the midfield, so you'd want to be right about there. So the second, though, that you decide to inch in means that now we have two players here, one player here, and if in orange I draw the rest of the field, you can see there is a huge amount of field that is not currently covered by your team, whereas if we look at their end, they are already covering on defensively their entire half with their split on their defense, right? And so as of right now, you guys similarly are covering your entire half, give or take, with where the ball is, right? You're covering up to about here, give or take, right, with you in terms of your reach that you have. But the second you inch over, this line, this final line that you have here, inches with you, right? It comes across as well. So you've got to be careful of inching over. And so as soon as this ball's going to the corner, despite it looking juicy that you want to follow it, when you inch over, now both you and red are landing here, when instead we could have had you driving up the middle, being ready in the middle here for a pass, red playing in his number 3 spot, and getting ready to do what he can, right, on this play. But instead now we have two of you here, meaning one of you is going to have to come across and then get back in. It's just a little awkward, right? So you were in the best position because you were over here, meaning you could see your teammate, you could see your other teammate, and you could see all of them over on this side with the ball. So you have the most information. Use that to your advantage, right? Don't downplay how advantageous information is, right? Because now both you and red decide to go over, then you decide to come back. Now that ball is centered, and Mafungi, I guess, has a pretty easy clear, right? That he's able to get out. You are in position for afterwards, but you can see right away how delayed it was getting into the zone just because of that. So really be wary of that, especially when solo queuing, which I think you are. Yeah, you are. You really got to be wary of that and try to play into that as much as you can. So keep that in mind. Big pop-up over, and then unfortunately nobody there. And so this defensively really not on you. Obviously I wish you had gotten that touch, like I'm sure you wish you had that one back too. But the recovery in of itself is a little slow, and I'm sure you can see that. Good diagonal flip, and now I would say diagonal flip to the right, so you can keep diagonal flips, but you're keeping in a good line right for that back post. But instead what we do is, oh no, sorry, I want you. Instead what we do is we front flip with a little boost right so deep to the back post that now we're pretty slow. Could you have got there? Probably not, and that's why I said I'm not putting this on you defensively, but it's something to keep in mind, right, that you should always be pushing those limits of where you're at. So good attempt there, and I'm sure you see why we lost pressure so quick was because you and red were kind of not sure who was going out in that neutral zone, right, and something you really got to try to refine. Good challenge. Good pop, one more, good job. And you have a teammate there, good, great play. And now you leave the zone. Good use of your camera there. And good job staying, man. That's so beautiful. I don't think you did this last time you sent me a replay. I love that you're staying with this ball now and turning back in. Like, that looks so good because now you're holding pressure when Sin is already in a good position to hold. And now you're covering if Sin misses or if it goes to the right. You're in a beautiful position for this. Careful on the turn early, right? So there's an interesting timing game that comes with these challenges. So right now this ball is popping, and so just any time, basically a good way you want to think about it, of any time that a player is immediately behind a ball and specifically in this case, when the ball is just about to bounce and start its bounce up, you are an immediate threat for a half volley, right? Meaning that that's going to be a boom over your head. That means this is never the time you should be turning. This is the time you should be facing backwards to see if he takes a slow touch and then turn. If he doesn't, great, you're already facing backwards and you can get up and make whatever play you need to based on the height of the shot, right? And so you end up putting yourself in a little no man's land here purely because you decide not to turn, right, in this play, and you end up almost getting yourself caught if not for having a teammate behind you, right? And so something to keep in mind is that timing of when to turn. Wait for him to make the touch. You see you've turned now before he's made the touch, so it's a very easy pop-up for him instead, and now you have to half flip and recover all the way back despite you being in a really good challenging position, and you guys are narrowly scored on, right? So that's a huge thing, but it feels so small, but it really does change the timing of your challenges as they come around. Same thing, right? So I appreciate you're close. Watch. This guy gets a touch. Right now, we don't know if he's going to get another one, so we got to wait. Wait to see if you can read if he is. By this point, you know for sure he is getting another touch because he aimed perfectly at it. So by jumping then, where are we going, right? We're not getting anything. So a little more patience will go a mile for you, and we end up getting scored on because unfortunately you were the last man going for that challenge as well. So a huge, like I said, huge thing, but feels so small. But twice in that play did you end up seeing that timing of the challenges. If a touch is about to come, it is not the time to turn unless you're like on your goal line or everything's depending on it or something like that. But if you have some time, especially if you're the last man, if a touch is about to come, never, ever, ever should you be the one turning. Good back post. Get your pads. Great turn. I love it. No boost over ball. Nice and smooth. Great job. Try to work on your laning, right? See, so not only getting some pads here if you could, but like right away, as soon as you see that this boost is full, turning hard and fast so that you can still meet this ball and take it up. Instead, you take a nice kind of slower line and meet it as the ball goes past it and go up. Try your best, right, to get those lanes so you can secure that boost. Not only for the fact that you need it, but so that it's not going to be taken by an enemy, meaning that they're going to have boost in time to work their way out instead, right? Good job, right? Yeah, so you see those chaos, back to your net. Simple as that. Great job. Really, really beautifully done there. I want to see this one again because you guys had a double commit. I want to see where this came from. So you're falling behind, which is good. Interesting, yeah, that was just more on your teammate. I think you made the right play. But this is again, right? So like, what's the panic here, right? Of is there a shooter coming? Yes, right. Cam is coming right now. But like, what's our goal was just hitting it off the wall. Maybe yeah, you're looking for a pass, see if somebody's with you, things like that. But you don't really know, right, at this point. And so especially since you just had a demo, your teammate just got demoed over here, meaning you only have one other teammate. So if this doesn't go to that exact teammate, then you're setting up a 3-on-1 technically the other way, right? So you got to try to take almost your field cues here if you know that you just lost a teammate to make a better decision. So I would say if you are choosing arrows for this ball, which I think is the right call, I do like that you're rushing this because Cam, like I said, is coming right now. You want to hit as high up on this ball as you possibly can so that this ball is going down and rolling off the wall, staying close to this corner, not popping off into the middle for an easier clear out downfield, right? So try your best to keep this tight. You want to be fast to this ball, but you don't want to boom this ball so you can keep it tight because, like I said, you're currently down a teammate and you got to be smart about where this possession is going. Because now, like I said, your now freshly spawned teammate is technically the last man as Red just happens to recover from that double commit earlier. Good positioning again. Way to let your teammate take that boost. That was very, very good of you. Good try on the follow. And great pads on the way back, man. But then you rotate out. Careful. Same thing. So you're making a decision before you have the information to do so. So you land here. You're not currently in ball cam, so you don't know what's going on. Is this ball coming on net? Great. You're going to have to turn back in. Is it breaking down field? Great. You can turn out this way instead and make your way. That's your decision making. If, like, do you need to be a goalie or do you need to be a striker? You need to make that decision, but you can't do that until you have the information to do so, right? So you got to turn here and see what you want because you make the striker decision, but this ball is actually coming on net, right? Like that was actually a bit of a risky turn if there was a better shot on net there. But again, great job getting your pads. Great line. Oh, great pass down. Nice try. Try your speed, right? Like you have tons of boost here. As soon as he hits this, full boost, right? Like I want to see you every ounce of boost coming out up to that ball to hit that down into the net, right? push your speed. Like, you are a faster player. Like, I've said that a lot about you, I think. And so to me, I don't know why we're not fully boosting this until now, right? You boost for the 50, you don't boost for the shot. I want you boosting for the shot. I want you winning these cleanly so that you can set the tone, you can set the pace of the field, you can be the one trying to gun for those goals, right? And same thing, I think you're rotating a little awkwardly because you tend to rotate to the side of your teammate, which is not always the best decision, right? So you're rotating to the right here and you see your teammate, and then you keep rotating to the side and keep going, right? And so now both of you are lined up on each other again. You're both side by side and you don't know who's going to go to this ball. You just choose not to, and this ball so narrowly goes in just because we didn't know who was going to it, right? And this all comes from this awkward neutral zone. And I keep seeing this really awkward neutral zone of that. I think for you, man, like it really is going to come down to trying to push yourself with body language harder. So you're coming this way, great. Stay going this way. Go right through the boost that he's going. He knows he's going to come across. Go all the way down to this back boost and then come back into the middle. So you're staying on this side of the field so that he can take that side of the field over here, right? This is his, this is yours. Use the body language as much as you can to show him what that's going to look like, because instead you guys end up doubling up and narrowly getting caught and allowing a goal because of it, right? But a great save nonetheless. And then careful, so you go to straight cam here as a touch is happening. You see what I mean? You go to straight cam just as a shot is coming on net. So this could have been a slow roll right to the middle of the net. Could have been coming right here that you could have just driven down and boomed, but you have no idea because you're in straight cam. Really be careful of that when you're coming. You go to ball cam here as the net is coming, and then now Sin has to make the save, and now you have to go and clean up afterwards, right? Touch. Try. Great clear, man. Really beautiful clear. This is another big one that I think I've seen a little bit. So right now you're the third man. I know you know that you're the third man. So when this pops over, if you miss this challenge, that's going on net, right? So there might even be some value in you driving towards it and instantly driving away and going up the wall, because this is going to do one of two things. This is either going to bounce down and then up right to you on the wall, or it's going to bounce as it's coming down, and then Raktabine, or whatever his name is going to come full speed, probably boom this off the corner into the middle, and now you're in a better position to curve up the wall and down and chase it down and clear it at the end. Going for this, if you're confident, sure, through and through. I'm with you. Like, I think that's the right decision, but you missing this is an absolute death sentence on your team. As you see here, when that gets centered, and now we have nobody there who can make the save. Luckily, no shooter either, right? And so really try to keep that in mind when you're in that last man. You got to make smarter decisions there to make sure that you're always covering all the possible angles that could come out from something. Same thing, whereas here you make a fantastic decision. Your third man, that's a free ball, but you choose not to go just in case he beats you to it, and he definitely 10 out of 10 would have beat you to it. So really smart decision there. I want to see that consistently on it, okay? Great shot attempt as well. Big pop-up over. Nice try. And you should be cycling back. Good job getting your pads. And so then this I think brings it all home for me of what you said you want to make the push to diamond. Let me give you what I think will be the thing to push you to diamond. It's going to be your intentional touches. So touches that are going to start a play rather than end it. So coming up right here, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. So coming up right here, right now, what do you see? You currently see two goalies rotating in. You see one player right in front of you, right here, who's also going to be rotating into the middle, hoping to challenge you. And you know you have one teammate who just rotated in behind you, and you have one teammate who's rotating out. This is the time that you can slow it down slightly, get around the ball, and make the play to Sin, hoping that he either touches it back to you, he maybe leaves it, brings it around, and takes a shot on net. There's tons of options here, but what's the option that you get if you just hit this ball dead center? You're taking a shot. That's your option. How likely is that shot to go in if you have a challenger and two goalies, right? There is an absolutely 0% chance that this goes anywhere, even though I know you mistimed this. Like, I know you wanted a boom here. I can see that. that's what you're lining up, and it didn't work out. But even with the boom, what are you setting up? You currently have 15 boost, meaning that if I go to the side angle here, let's do this. Oh, bring her back. Bring her back. So even if you manage to get a big old boom right downfield from where you are, right off that backboard, going to hit right there and start coming out, then what boost do you have to follow? You currently have 15 boosts to your name, so when you follow in, you're going to have to double jump to then lose a little bit of boost to then meet that, whereas you currently have, probably he gets beat because he probably challenges you, so you have two goalies, one coming to the ball, one going in net, and you are not going to be the one to beat it, and you already know that the player behind you also ain't going to be the one to beat it because Red is just cycling in. You see he has basically nothing to his name, and he's just sitting back there the entire time, right? This is where that intentionality comes from, because watch what happens at your current rank all the time, and this is why I want to spend some time on this. You rush the touch, Red rushes the touch, two of them rush the touch. Right now, at this very, very moment, we have Sin, who has two defenders completely out of the play. Red, who is also about to land, probably go to their boost or go to that boost or something. You making your way back, meaning that he has all the time in the world to come under this ball, catch it as it comes down, and start a dribble. Maybe Red joins in. Maybe you turn and join in. Maybe you come around for a rebound. We currently have a 3-on-1 opportunity that gets thrown away because Sin says, I'm going to shoot. Let's watch it. And a hell of a shot it ever is, right? And so now Cam sees that now he has a rotating boostless man, a also now soon to be rotating boostless man, and someone who just rotated directly into net with one teammate already making his way out and one flipping this way. Same thing, he can come under, start a dribble, bring it wide, and chances are one of them will turn with him as they're coming out, and now they have a 2-on-1 or even 3-on-1 opportunity the other way. Just like that, bang, bam, boom, here we are. But what happens, Cam is like, nah, I'm going to shoot it. Again, not a good shot. And so now you come up to this ball, and just before you make the play, now if we look, we have, you I think have the hardest of them all, and like that's why I give you a little kudos here that you have one of the hardest decisions, because you currently have two defenders, an already recovered last one who's ready to go, who's going to be ready to cut off anything that's short. You have one rotating out and one rotating in. So just like that, where is the good zone, right? So we look, this is a hot zone. We don't want the ball anywhere near this corner. You obviously don't, I don't think you really want to slow play this because you currently have this zone where you would be slow playing covered completely by Cam. So this is kind of off limits. So to me, you can put the ball one of two places. You can put the ball left or you can put the ball right. If we put the ball right, we have nothing over here. We have two teammates that could very quickly turn. They're on it over here. They're eating it up, and now they're working out the other way. If you put it left, we have Sin now who can come and draw. Oh, wrong color. We have Sin. Let me get rid of his, and we'll draw a new one. Who can actually follow this play to your ball, touch it back to you in the middle, as you then come in and then take a shot on net. Next option, Sin can come to this ball, back pass it to Red, and then Red can get a big pop downfield because it's a good back pass to him, right, instead. And now we can start to play however you guys want to. There are a million more options that can start from here, and these are just the passing ones. Again, if we bring it back and you pass it across, you choose the left option, Sin comes. All it takes for Sin is to drive past behind the ball as it comes, dribble it, and now dribble on net. You're with him, and now we bing, bang, boom. We got 2-on-1 passing or shooting lane again with Red rotated in the back. This is what Diamond and Champion looks like, is being able to intentionally send the ball to anywhere that you want it, regardless of what your hoped outcome is. You're just sending it there to allow the next player to create whatever outcome they think that they need. And that's a big part of that. I always see, especially in Platinum, man, is that people will be like, no, I don't pass because my teammates aren't looking for them, and then they don't pass to me, so like, why are we passing? Like, let's just rotate, let's be good, let's get good hits, and we'll be solid. But what's the point of that if we are just two teams trying to constantly rotate each other? And this is all it ever comes to. And you saw, and we're going to watch one more time, you just saw 4 attempts back and forth that this ball didn't leave this zone because it was just slowly being hit back and forth with no other intentionality, as the orange team just kept rotating like this and the blue team just kept rotating like this. So that's a big thing for me, that for no reason is this ball ever going anywhere, because teams are just trying to out-rotate each other and hope someone makes a mistake. But right now, especially when you guys are down, you need any option you can. So this needs to be a huge focus for you moving forward, CloudN9, is being able to intentionally look for these passes, look for these plays, be able to make opportunities out of what feels like nothing. And so as we go one more time, let's watch the chaos again ensue. So Sin rushes that, Mafungi rushes that, you rush this, and then 3 players rush this, Sin rushes this, Cam rushes this, you rush this, and Cam rushes it again, but luckily his weak touch sets up a play instead. Instantly, we just saw like 20 seconds of the most unintentional ball-chasing puppy play, and all it took was you to be the smart player and play that off and not fall into the trap. And this is why I say it's not that you are making a stupid decision. You're making the decision that the game has provided you and what makes the most sense at the time. What you need to do is start innovating that decision making, change the game, start incorporating different things into it, and find ways to make that more relevant. I could go back through this entire replay and I guarantee I could count all the times that you and everybody else on the field could have slowed down the play. I could go through my own replays and say the same thing, even though I think I'm quite good at this. But still, it needs to start now for you, because teams, I will be very honest, actual teams, like not solo queued, like real 3 people who are playing together, only start picking this up by like early champ. So if you start associating your gameplay and start changing your gameplay so that you are always looking for whatever intentional touch you have in view, then you are going to start seeing some massive success very early on, and you will be very, very happy to see that it provides a lot more offensive opportunity than you're currently seeing. So really keep that in mind. I promise you it's really life-changing if you can kind of get a good handle on it. And I hope that makes a little sense. I really did try to go a little in depth there. I spent a whole like 5-6 minutes on that just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Of that, it's so important for breaking down the games and the gameplay of Platinum to Diamond, because by Platinum, and this is why it's the most average, it's a bunch of people who can do most kind of basic mechanics, who can hit the ball kind of hard and can rotate. That's it. That's what Platinum is. People can argue, but that ultimately is what Platinum is. So now, if you want to get out of Platinum, what do you got to do? You either need to get mechanics that are better than everyone else, you need to hit better shots than everybody else, or you need to rotate better than everybody else. And so if everybody's already okay at rotating, and like if everybody, let's say, rotated perfectly, which obviously doesn't happen, but then we're just going to get a full game, which I would consider Diamond 3, of where it's just 2 teams completely out-rotating each other. There's very little mistakes in terms of rotations. It just comes from if a couple guys are pretty good at mechanics versus the other. Like, that's Diamond 3 in a nutshell. And so if you are able to identify this kind of more intentional play now, when you get to that Diamond 3 kind of stalemate that tends to be produced, you are going to be breaking down the teams that think that they can just out-rotate you, because you're going to be looking for passing lanes, you're going to be looking for opportunities, and offense is going to feel like it's coming out of nowhere, which is huge. Same thing, I want you to be able to get pads, right? Why are we only in net with 12? Let me quickly go above and show you what I'm talking about. So you come, as you're coming across, I count just in this line from here to here. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe afterwards 6 paths that are very doable, right? So if you're landing, if you land here, you come down, you're going to go 1. Maybe that one's too far to the way. If it is, that's okay. So you'll be there, or you'll come here to 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So you should be ending always with more than 50 boost, let alone more than 12. But you end up in net with 12, and you've got to keep that in mind if you want to continue to play the kind of more faster play style that you are. But you see, you're just actively avoiding every single pad until the very last one, right? And it hurts, right? And like you feel like you can't do as much when you don't have the boost for it. Because now this ball comes up, and yes, you got a good save, but you didn't have any boost to follow it, and you get beat to the ball just like that, right? And it's this little domino effect of not being able to effectively like rotate, play the game, do little things like that, that will end up burning you in that long run. Same thing, we're not getting pads. Look at that. Like, what is our idle time here, right? Like, what are we trying to get as soon as we land? You're going, you see that back boost, you look like you're going for it, you get span out, and you just decide not to, but then you don't get that pad, and then you flip through that pad, and then you get this boost, and then now you're on the ball, and we just had a whole 10 seconds where you basically did nothing, right? And so we got to try to look at that idle time, figure out why it's looking the way it is, and then change it, right? And break it down and add things to it, add value to your game, and try to make it happen. And that'll do it. But I hope you see what I mean. And so the reason I spent so much time towards the end there on both, so in general, actually, on idle times, your boost lanes, things like that, and then specifically intentional touches, is the fact that you guys didn't score a single goal this game. In fact, you had 2 shots on net, your teammate had 2 shots on net, and Red had 0 shots on net. So you guys produced basically 0 offense that entire game. Virtually none, if you really think about it, especially since most of your points came from saves overall, right? And so in order to better, especially if you're solo queuing, this is a huge thing of that people are like, oh, well, I can't make passes with solo queuers because like they're not looking for it, but it doesn't matter. Put it to the areas that the players are currently in, because then 2 things. One, they're going to be like, oh, damn, like, look, he's passing to me, and they'll get excited. They'll play better for you. They'll respect you. They'll trust you. Like, there's more that comes with that. And then on the opposite end, if you are passing, there's a good chance that you're going, if they aren't turning and they don't think it's passing and stuff like that, that not only are you now putting it to more empty space that you can follow, so it's just overall a smarter decision that you're keeping the ball safe, but it's also hopefully at least by like midway towards the end of the game, they're going to start noticing that you hit the ball hard into different spaces all the time, so they might actually start looking for it in the long run, right? Which is really cool and something I see all the time, even when I solo queue still. And so I really want you to put some time into that, because I promise you it's going to open up a lot more offensive opportunities for you. You're going to feel like a playmaker. You're going to feel like the world's on your shoulders, and then out of nowhere, you're going to hit this one point where when you're sending these passes, people are going to start sending them back, and then that's where the game really starts opening up, because then you're going to start having what feels a good competitive team play, right? You're generating offense, you're generating plays, you're looking like pro teams at that point. And if you think about a pro team to you just being in platinum right now, like, it feels like a big gap, but ultimately that's arguably one of the biggest differences between your play style is like they still rotate, they still shoot, they still aerial, they do everything that you do. Yes, slightly better, faster, things like that. They do all that better, faster, everything than I do. But the biggest difference between your play is that you aren't setting up these plays or looking for these plays, whereas they are, right? And maybe it was just this game. Maybe you do every single game. You're always looking for these, but I really wanted to harp on this because it's such an influential thing for later in your playing career, and I'm hoping that can help out. So that'll be my big thing for you now. If you want some advice on that or want to see what it looks like, things like that, please let me know. I have tons and tons of replays of good passing plays, because it's things that I love going for and make me really happy in the game. So I'm happy to really share and pass along that knowledge. But that's where we'll leave it for now. This has been another replay review for the Ace Wiki podcast. CloudN9nee, your hero. Thank you always for your support, and I hope that you're able to pull some good stuff from this. I hope you're doing okay. I know you've been swamped, you mentioned, with homeschooling, your daughter, and like all this kind of stuff that's going on. So I hope you're doing all right. If you need breaks or things like that, please let me know. Absolutely no rush at all. I called you out on the stream as a complete joke. I really do hope you know that as well. I've loved seeing you there, and I thought it'd be funny to call you out. So I hope that you can pull some stuff from this. I hope you continue on the grind this season. We're getting diamond. I believe in you. I know you can do it. So I hope it happens. But yeah, so I've been Combo. This has been another replay review, and thank you so much for watching, listening, or however you choose to take it in. Bye for now.